We need more people just like you, fucking redneck Arkansas motherfuckers, to stand in the gap and say, Black Lives Matter!
You know the drama is never ending. Don't let it get the best of you, baby.
Alright everybody, welcome to Daytime Tea Time. If you're new to my channel, my name is Candice. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will always know when I upload. Okay y'all, so let's get right on into it. We are talking about actor Terry Crews.
I want to know, are you naughty or nice?
Oh Terry, oh Terry.
Sorry, I'm not interested.
Terry Crews is being dragged and canceled once again. Y'all don't know what happened? It all started with one tweet. Terry Crews said, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together. When Terry Crews decided to make this tweet, he got a lot of backlash. Most of the tweets from people very upset are telling him that black supremacy does not exist. Karen Hunter replied saying, dude, black supremacy? Really? This statement would have been perfectly fine without that ridiculous phrase. Please read more and or have someone else craft your tweets. Hashtag major fail. Note, it would have been okay to not say anything. And as I scroll, more and more people are very, very confused by the fact that he even stated the phrase black supremacy. Shout out to comedian Godfrey. He also said, I love you as a friend, brother Terry, but I disagree with you 100%. No such thing as black supremacy. That is a tactic that racist whites use to counteract our rebellion to their horrific treatment of us. It's called gaslighting. Black pride isn't anti-white. Even one of Terry Crews' good friends and ex-co-star, Tyler James Williams, had to come through and let Terry Crews know that he is wrong. Tyler James Williams, who played Chris from Everybody Hates Chris, alongside Terry Crews, he took to Twitter to say this. Tyler says, I'm not trying to call you out at Terry Crews. You know it's all love always, but we're rightfully angry right now and fed up with anyone not with our cause wholeheartedly. I don't want to see that energy pointed your way or diverted from the cause. Our people are tired of white people who put on a good face and claim they aren't racist while operating and benefiting from the privilege of a clearly racist system. We are not trying to do this alone. We know we can't, but we refuse to have allies who won't go the distance. Terry, brother, I know your heart and I know I have love for you and always will. No one is calling for black supremacy, and the narrative that we are hurts our cause and our people. We're just vigorously vetting our allies because time and time again, they have failed us in the past. Your platform is huge, man. You out here getting it and I love to see it. I will always be a fan of you winning. But with all of that growth and diversity comes a huge amount of responsibility to remember that every word we say can be used to help the movement or hurt it. Terry Crews then responds saying, I understand, Tyler. I was not saying black supremacy exists because it doesn't. I am saying if both black and whites don't continue to work together, bad attitudes and resentments can create a dangerous self-righteousness. That is all. Tyler responded saying, I get that, but look how quickly he took what you said and used it to support a counter narrative. My concern isn't your message to black people, but to everyone else. We know how hard this is going to be. We can't not, but this only makes it harder. Okay, so you guys saw that. Now shout out to Tyler James Williams for gathering his ex-co-star with love. But unfortunately, that was not enough to make Terry Crews understand the power of his words and how they negatively affect us. And I'm not assuming that Terry Crews doesn't understand. I know that he doesn't understand what's going on because after that back and forth with his ex-co-star, he tweeted this. Terry Crews says, any black person who calls me a coon or an Uncle Tom for promoting equality is a black supremacist because they have determined who's black and who is not. 2 seconds seconds ago, y'all, didn't Terry Crews say that black supremacy doesn't exist? So basically, any of us black people who decide to refer to Terry Crews as a coon, Terry's trying to say that we're black supremacists. Which one is it? Does it exist or does it not exist, Terry? Because we're confused. We're confused about what you think, not about the truth. We know that black supremacy is not a thing and it will never be a thing, no matter how hard people try to make it a thing. It's not a thing. He's being called a coon by a lot of people. Comedian and TV host Amanda Seales referred to him as a coon today. So I guess he tried to say Amanda Seales is a black supremacist too, which she is not. None of us are. But speaking of Amanda Seales, this is what she had to say about it.
How did none of y'all tell me what Terry Crews was over on Twitter doing last night? Now, of course, you know, I will address the coonery of our boy Terry, but I think it's worth noting that when we see these types of behaviors from black folks, oftentimes what they're speaking of as like fact is really just the result of a personal response to not having had acceptance by a certain black community. And that could be their family, that could be their parents, that could be their, you know, their neighborhood, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's a certain level of compassion that I think we all reserve when we see that and we say, damn, like, who hurt you? But I think the other thing is that we also have to acknowledge that in that compassion and in that awareness for other people's feelings, we also have to acknowledge that people's feelings can also cause them to do things that can harm others. Cool. And so when we see someone like Terry Crews, you know, people with platforms speaking in this fashion against a movement, speaking in a fashion that creates a divisiveness due to lack of just knowledge and history, though it is a response to their feelings, which might be true, because of their position, their response can be weaponized to undermine the bigger picture. And therefore, they have to be addressed directly. Because they're not just speaking, you know, in casual spaces. They're making declarations. And they have a certain set of power. And when you have a certain set of power, you have to have a certain responsibility for where your voice can go. And even though you have your own personal traumas, that cannot be the trigger that's used to fire at the movement that you're actually a part of, by nature of simply being a black man.
Amanda Seales posted on her Instagram saying, "Coons are Negroes who choose white approval over black advancement." Just so we're clear, there is no such thing as black supremacy. Liberation from an oppressive system is not rooted in a desire to become the oppressive system. At Terry Crews' tweets and previous actions are a demonstration of anti-blackness. When you use yourself in a way to obstruct the truth of another black person's pro-black experience, you are a coon. He did that with Gabrielle Union, and he's doing that with this movement. A lot of my fellow celebs need their phones taken away and replaced with books. You're not playing a role, you're a role model. We must know our history better than we know their scripts. Okay, so you guys heard that. Amanda Seales said, ain't no such thing as black supremacy. Don't you call her a black supremacist. Don't you call me one. Don't you call none of us one, because it don't exist. I agree with Amanda Seales. There's a lot of celebrities that should really stop trying to be activists to a certain level when they're not properly educated. All of us can do our part. We can do protests, you know what I'm saying? We can use our platforms to speak positivity for the black community. We all can be involved, but some people are trying to take it a little bit too far and end up saying the wrong thing because they're not educated, like Terry Crews. At the end of the day, Terry Crews needs to realize that his wording was horrible. It's obvious what he's trying to say is that, you know, black people and white people can work together and we're stronger together. That's very true, and I think that we've seen that with the protests where there's multiple different types of races there. White people, black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, all coming together to protest hashtag Black Lives Matter. So we are definitely stronger in numbers and we definitely work well together when we do. But to say when we don't include white people we're black supremacists, like, that is ridiculous. Being pro-black does not mean we're anti-white. Now, with that said, I also feel like us black people, we are not obligated to include white people in the things that we do to help black people. We're not obligated to do that. There's a lot of white people out here who are with the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement, and they're out there protesting and helping and doing all that they can. But let's be clear, it's not our job to beg y'all to come to the protest. It's not our job to teach y'all things that y'all can Google and read books about. It's not our job to do that, but I hope that some of us will try our best when white people reach out and ask us, how can I help? Because there are a lot of white people out there trying to help. The simplest thing that white people can do to help the Black Lives Matter movement is to speak up, and you teach your white brothers and sisters, the racist ones, that Black Lives matter.
By screaming white lives matter, that shit is privilege and racist. Tell me I'm wrong. You're not getting your ass whooped, bro. Tell me I'm wrong. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Yeah, they fucking do. They are the only demographic that are being disproportionately jailed, beaten, and killed by the police. How fucking hard is this for you to understand? Hell yeah! Let's go! Born and raised in the fucking South. I grew up here just like you in the fucking South. Deep shit South to Queen, Arkansas, and I understand racial inequality.
Shout out to this man. I don't know this man. I never heard of this man. I tried to look for his name. I couldn't find him, but shout out to him. As far as Terry Crews, he did end his day on Twitter by saying this: I believe it is important we not suffer from groupthink and we keep minds of our own and be allowed to ask difficult questions to each other. I believe this dialogue is important as we get through this trauma together. I love you. Please know that everything I've said comes from a spirit of love and reconciliation for the black community first, then the world as a whole, in hopes to see a better future for black people. That sounds good. I hope it's true. I would hope that within his heart he does everything out of love, but we can always do things out of love and mess up. Terry Crews, you messed up. I hope you realize it. I hope you learn from it, and I hope you change. But all right, y'all, I'm done with this, and I want to know what y'all think. What do you guys think about Terry Crews being canceled once again? And what do you guys think about Amanda Seales clapping back and explaining to him the seriousness of his statements? Let me know what you think. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one, all right? Bye.